5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. Obviously, Casey didn't make it. It's been a few weeks for me as well. I've been busy moving around and vacation and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure I'll see Dylan Dotson in here at some point to call me a part-timer, but we'll wait for him to come in here and do that. How's it going over there, Dave?
So let me get this straight. Casey's at a Disney at Ice, or is it a Taylor Swift concert?
It's Disney on Ice featuring Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Hey, it's so unusual. I'm so big in this screen.
I know we're going this way.
As we're going
This
wide.
is the way I'm most comfortable on. Let me do some shout outs here because we got our boy.
God, man, I need to shave. I need to do some skincare.
My guy Gary in the building. What up, Gary? And Sodak kids in the building. What up, Sodak? Already get with the hashtag Skol in here. Of course. Another show, another rookie card we're gonna give away. This is my last. I'll have to get some more, but this is my last Ivan Pace Jr. rookie card. So get the hashtag Skols in here. Like the video and subscribe to us, GG Sports Podcast and Minnesota Sports Talk. Do all that good stuff. Yeah, what's up, Sodak?
By the way, guys, since I reached 2,500 subscribers, I'll be giving away the Dalvin Cook Funko Pop, and I haven't pulled the drawing yet, so I'll do it next week. I'll do it next week when we do that show. Okay. We got a special show for you next week. Yeah. Each one of us is gonna take a team. Of course, Casey's gonna take the Lions because that's his favorite team. And we're gonna bring on a fourth guest, and I right now I got committed Skol Doc if you're on Twitter. And the show I did that I posted this morning to be the Vikings drafter. So,
yeah, and I gotta go with the pack. I gotta go with the pack on that.
Gonna do the pack. I'll take the Bears. I'll take the Bears.
I got a plan, I think, for the pack.
Are you gonna take it serious or like? You know what? I think they need a long snapper.
Yeah, I'll take it. I don't know. Do I have to take it completely serious, or can I be somewhat?
Well, at least not in the first couple rounds, man. At least not in the first couple.
All right. I have something in a play.
I forgot. I need to send the link to my mom. She wanted to watch tonight.
Oh yeah, dude, do it. Hey, Dylan, Jamie, your part-time ways are rubbing Casey the wrong way. The greatest guy sometimes. That's hilarious, Dylan. Right before you popped in here, I mentioned that you were going to hop in and call me part-timer. Hey, we got Yogi in the building. What up, Yogi? Skol Mafia. What up, Skol Mafia? Yeah, like Gary's doing right now. Get those hashtag Skols in. We're giving away my last Ivan Pace rookie card on the giveaway tonight. Obviously, at the end of the show, got to be here to win. All that good stuff. So, outside of all that stuff, Dave, how are you doing tonight? And what did you we're going to get in. We got to get into Kirk Cousins stuff. We got to get into some Danielle Hunter stuff that we got free agency right around the corner for us. Starting Monday, we should, get a lot of the news coming in of what's going to happen as far as contracts go for, players on their current teams. Where are you at with Kirk Cousins? Because it's obviously tons of reports, tons of smoke. You don't really know what to believe. All the reports saying that he's already moving to Atlanta, and then for those to kind of get debunked. And then now, there's been stuff coming up with him getting contracts, which is obviously completely BS. But
I'm with, believe it or not, I'm with Phil Mackey. He tweeted today he's 50-50 on whether or not he thinks Kirk Cousins is going to be here or not.
Okay.
And I was that before Florio, and I'm almost wanting to jump it up to 60% after Florio. I decided,
stay or 60 he leaves.
Stay because of Florio. So basically the opposite of Florio.
Hey, she's in the building. What's up,
Fern's in the house.
Hey, hi, Fern. Let's go.
So you guys, nice to me. My mom's in here.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm
always all right. Nice So, I was just talking to my mom about it.
Yeah.
Mike Florio, because she's hearing about it. My mom is hearing about it. she saw they have it being broadcast in smoke signals in South Dakota, and my mom could see it. So, anyways, I decided to go like search in Twitter, Pro Football Focus, Mike Florio, Cousins. Here's one from last year at this time. Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk recently revealed a trade scenario between the 49ers and Vikings for Kirk Cousins was heavily discussed in the league circles at the NFL scouting combine. So we were going to trade. I don't even remember hearing this. But Mike Florio was talking about how we were going to trade Kirk Cousins to San Francisco coming up a 13-win season. Yeah.
Which, again, obviously with the no trade, anything when it came to trades, I kind of was just like, I just completely spaced it out because it's like with San Francisco,
Mike Florio sources though.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. It's interesting.
So I didn't say anything on Twitter or anything, initially until I saw his interview on Pat McAfee, where he said, when they asked him about his sources, he says, loyal readers of the website send me information, and then I have it checked by people in the know. And then on his own show, he goes and says that he saw after the interview with Kirk at the Radio Row before the Super Bowl, he heard his wife and Julie Cousins talking, and he sensed her frustration. Somebody said before, he got confirmation that Julie was upset. He elaborated that she was upset that Kirk's deal hasn't getting done. To find out later, he sensed the conversation between his wife and Julie Cousins that she was frustrated. Now he's speaking, and then later talks about how the family is frustrated. I'm like, come on. I would not give this guy another interview the rest of my life if I was the Cousins family. Maybe he's doing him a service. Maybe he is boosting up his value. I don't know.
Right.
But I would go with what I would go with what Quasey said. I tell these guys that I am not going to negotiate in the press.
Right. Yeah.
And I do think that the Vikings are a steel trap, and the players, you don't hear anything. Like we didn't know Davenport was getting signed. We had no clue. We didn't know Murphy was getting signed. Right, and then it happened. Right. And then so I feel like Vikings are a steel trap. And unfortunately, Minnesota media runs out of things to talk about. So they do the telephone game and use each other for sources. But as you said, Wolfson came out, said a person that know Kirk Cousins shot that down. That don't get nearly as distributed. He's not doing the rounds on NFL and Pat McAfee, but Florio is.
Right.
So he's basically being rewarded, rinse, repeat for doing stuff like this. He's an attention whore. And I know most Viking fans every year say the same thing. I'm just saying now, if you are not, it is basically confirmation bias. It's confirmation bias. I want him gone, or I don't, whichever. If you are, I can guarantee this. If Kirk Cousins leaves, which he will, I'm 50-50 on it. I think it could go either way. I think Quasey, if he lowballs him, he's gone. If he does leave, it won't be because it won't. Well, Mike Florio will have known nothing about it.
Yeah.
If Quasey and Kirk do not come to agreement and he leaves, Mike Florio knew absolutely nothing about it. I can guarantee that. 100%. Book it.
Yeah, I don't really trust anything. I know there's rumors today, because you were talking about Kirk Cousins getting lowballed or whatever. I think there's rumors today saying that there is frustration coming from his camp about just the Vikings not budging on whatever they want to give or whatever, which, I mean, that doesn't seem that crazy. I mean, I am surprised we really haven't had anything being said yet, but like you said, it is like a steel door or whatever. So it's like, there's not much coming out on this and there hasn't in the past with the Vikings with some of their signings, because it could have just happened like on Monday or whatever, and all of a sudden you see the deal get done. Though I would say I'm more, to me, I'm still more 80. I'm like 80. I'm on 80% that I think Kirk Cousins is going to be gone, and like 20% that he's going to be here. And most of that is just, I mean, just to me, even like starting with him not getting re-signed this past off season. And to me, it doesn't really make a lot of sense for them to, like, obviously they offered him like a 1-year deal or whatever, and Kirk wanted 2 deals, whatever the specifics was on that one. They just didn't come to an agreement last year. And
well, I think it wanted 3. They offered 1. He said 2, and it was the guaranteed money that was the breakup.
And I feel like it's got to be the same situation this offseason.
Oh, so very well could be.
So I feel like that's ultimately like that's why like that's like the main reason why I think it's going to come down to where I think the Vikings are just what they want. I think their priority is just the future now compared to bringing Kirk back. And I ultimately think like they're going to have a number, and it's just going to be like they're going to stay stubborn with that number, and it's probably going to be much lower than Kirk deserves. And I wouldn't blame him for not taking it either. But ultimately, I do think that's what's going to happen, and the reason why he'll ultimately end up walking, or at very least like going to check what's all out there. Well,
like here's last week Pro Football Talk. Kevin O'Connell, I think we're headed toward a good place in negotiation with Kirk Cousins. So if you said someone on the stand right now, let's put Kwesi on the stand. And I know people hear this. I say this a lot. We have a quarterback. Quote unquote, leader, and can win the ultimate prize. Then talks to Paul Allen the next day, asking about the contract. This is a little different. Contracts of this, deals like of this magnitude tend to get done at the deadline. O'Connell tells I think Rich Eisen. No, he tells Florio. Florio asks him, "Do you want him back?" 100%, I want him back. I think we'll get a deal done. So what? And then Kirk says we're not going to do negotiations till March. Well, we're 3 days after the combine.
Yeah.
Then we're frustrated and we're not getting the deal done. I'm like holding my horses. Anytime I see like this side's frustrated, this guys, they're only offering 1-year deal, and I don't negotiate in the press. I am not going to go. I'm sticking at 50-50. I really am, and I do agree that that it could be a low ball situation. He's not getting what he deserves. I gotta walk. But I also look at it this way on what Cousins that's in the Vikings' favor as far as negotiation goes. There's no guarantee he can sign a contract if he goes into free agency, because he's gonna have to sign a contract. They're gonna have to agree to the physical, or may not want him after that physical, because they could just pull the deal, right? So why would I risk a bird in the hand for 2 in the tree? I could take this 35, 38, 40. I'm thinking it would be anywhere between 38 to 42 million a year. And maybe the second year's not guaranteed, or maybe that's the breaking point, whatever. But it's a raise, and it still puts them 12th or lower on the average contract value of the quarterbacks in the league. So it's still 12th or lower. So I'm like, if Kirk Cousins, if he says, "Oh my God, if I risk it, I may not get that money." Now, if he was completely healthy and he wasn't rehabbing, yeah, he could easily go into the market and make that money. I most likely, right? But he's risking it. And now we're like talking about only 2 suitors, the Vikings in Atlanta. Like, there's no hot smoke coming from New England or any of these other places, right? It's only Atlanta and even then, I think, not everybody's going to like put something out there, it will know more like the tampering period, right? we may hear from other teams at that point. But right now, we're just talking about Atlanta. I was talking about Atlanta and New England 3 or 4 months ago about them being destinations for him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's like throughout all this smoke, I do think Atlanta wanting him because it's came from so many different areas. I feel like that is probably true to some extent. I don't know how true it is, but I do think because there's reports coming from like Atlanta people, coming from Vikings people. So I'm like, I think Atlanta really would. I think they're going to make a push to try to grab him. But back to see, because I kind of see it different when I watch like the press conferences at the combine with Kwesi and stuff. The thing with them is like, again, I honestly do think they really would like Kirk Cousins back. I do think it's like we have a price here. I do think when I took from it, it's kind of some beating around the bush. I mean, KOC said that he wouldn't like that. Kirk will probably go see what he can get elsewhere or whatever. He mentions that.
Yeah, but was at the combine.
Yeah, there's just a big difference from really trying. Like
it was an interview out in the stands or something like that, right?
Yeah,
it was the day after.
It was when JJ.
It was the day after a Florio interview.
Yeah, it was like the quarterbacks were throwing, I believe, and then he was like the first one up there. So
a day later, after saying he thinks they'll get the deal done with Florio, a day later, people are taking that interview and saying, "Oh, he thinks he's Kirk's going to Atlanta." Oh, and then he knows that there's tampering going on. So one day later, not even 24 hours later, Kirk's gone to Atlanta after he just got done saying the day before he 100% wants him back, and then he thinks a deal will get done. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't believe him the day before, but I believe him today. So it's like, or I now I'm skeptical today because he said something. He didn't gushingly say I love Kirk and I wear his jersey all the time. You know, it's I hold my horses. I mean, I don't necessarily believe everything he said the day before, and I'm not going to look too deep into what he says the next day.
Yeah.
So it's more people reported his demeanor and his inflection in his voice in that last interview you're talking about.
Yeah.
Than the fact that he says he thinks a deal will get done.
Yeah. But that's, I don't know. It's different between him and Kwesi because KO, obviously the GM ultimately makes the decision, and Kwesi, I mean, there's no question KOC was just saying nothing but good things with Kirk Cousins and that he would 100% want him back, all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, like if you're the coach, there's no reason why you should never say that because it doesn't matter. It's not ultimately up to you to make the final decision. So
how about the part where he says, I talk to Kirk weekly as
and their families are close.
Regular off season. I talk to Kirk Cousins like it's a regular off season. I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, that'll be interesting. I do think I do still think, and I don't know, all the signs to me just point that they're just focused on the future unless Cousins was really wanting to not just go with the team friendly deal, but also the guarantee, the years, like all those kinds of things combined. I just have a hard time believing Kirk will ultimately take those deals. But yeah, I know to me, there is a difference though with just the way in like with Kwesi talking about him, which was like, oh yeah, we want Kirk back, but of course they want Kirk back. But it's just a big difference when he talks about Kirk and then he talks about Danielle Hunter is very similar. And then you talk about JJ and it was like, there's not even a question in your voice now. You're just like, we're getting JJ back. All those trade rumors were wrong. And then I go back to and I said the same thing last year when they had the same press conferences, but prior to the combine and everything last season, but prior to free agency, I said the same exact thing because Kwesi came out and said the same thing. Because when they were hired, when KOC and Kwesi was hired, it was like Kirk Cousins is our quarterback. 100% our quarterback. Like we're going to get, he's the future for the next handful of years, whatever. And then they ended up doing, what was it? Just a 1-year extension, I think, on whatever his contract was at the moment.
Yeah. Kirk is so money hungry and grubby and such a masterful negotiator that he negotiated a 1-year extension at the 15th highest average contract value in the league. He is so good at it. Should be in the Hall of Fame, I'm told. About negotiating.
He should. I do think he should. Whether
1-year contract,
whether that's a negative or but I mean, outside of, he's literally changed.
Coming off a Pro Bowl season and you sign a 1-year extension.
He's changed the game though, for real. He actually did though.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with that though, is there's just a big difference of you can really tell when Kwesi really wants, like they want this guy to being like, you don't know what's going to happen. And it was the same thing last year. People were reading into what he said, but it was like, to me, it was like, he didn't like the first year with Kirk, it was like, he's our quarterback. And now it's like, we want to get a deal done. And then ultimately they didn't last offseason. And I feel like it's a similar situation this season where I think he's in the same spot, unless Kirk is okay with taking whatever Kwesi and the front office wants. It's just hard for me to see them sticking around. So I don't know. I'm still on 80-20.
Let me ask you this question. Justin Jefferson's under contract, right?
Yeah.
All right. Kirk isn't, right?
No.
How old's Justin?
24, right? 24, maybe turned 25 now. I don't know what his birthday is.
How old's Kirk?
36.
Justin healthy?
Yes.
Kirk?
Well, yeah, he's healthy now. Kirk, no.
Right. All right. A little bit different scenario, right?
Right, but last year it wasn't. It was last offseason, it was a similar situation.
What happened with Justin?
Did
he get extended last year?
No, well, obviously he still had a couple years left on his contract.
Oh, well, it's different, right? So different situation last year by both players, different situation this year by both players. It's gonna be handled different. If you're telling me that with Kirk, he's telling me that Kwesi needs to talk about, I 100%, we're gonna get this deal done. When first of all, Justin Jefferson rumors were getting traded, right? We're getting traded. Kirk is a free agent. So he was dispelling the rumors about him trading Justin Jefferson, thanks to Charlie Walters, who is buried in a Timberwolves behind a paywall. That was, we're trading Justin Jefferson.
Right.
So he's dispelling Justin Jefferson trade rumors. Not right? He's dispelling that, and he overall said that rumors out there are wrong. He maybe not just talking about Justin Jefferson there, but if you're going to tell me that Kirk Cousins is the number one receiver, in his case quarterback in the league at age 25, a generational talent, and then he should be talked about just like Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, but
in the different part of their contracts.
Yeah,
and 10 years or 11 years age of difference coming off an injury.
It's not the same thing, but you can just tell when it's like it's a difference between I'm getting this deal done and we would like to get this done. We think it's going to get it done. That's different than saying we're going to get a deal done. And there has been times with Kwesi where it has been a difference. Like I said, they said that with Kirk Cousins when they first got here. It was, we're getting a deal done. Last year, it was like, we hope to come to an agreement for a deal, and then it didn't get done. And then this year, it's the same exact thing. We think it's going to get done. And this isn't from KOC has no reason to say anything bad. He doesn't need to beat around the bush. He can glow all he wants about Kirk Cousins and everything.
At the same time,
he doesn't make the ultimate decision.
And at the same time trying to pay less for him, he should build him up so high and make him so valuable.
I think it's his legit friend. I think it's like his legit friend. You know, like
you're talking about KOC. I'm talking about Kwesi.
Oh yeah, I was talking about KOC.
I was told that KOC came here and he came here to get his guy. In an interview, he said, a big reason I came here was because Kirk Cousins, right? So I had to, I had for the last 2 years being told that no, KOC doesn't want him back. He wants to get his own guy. Well, and I've been saying, well, what has this guy been? It's been Matthew Stafford and Kirk Cousins. That's been his guy, that type of guy. And then we saw how he could coach Dobbs, And we're a little disappointed with the way he, handled Dobbs in the third and fourth game. So I'm like, at the same time, we want Kwesi to win the negotiation. We want him to also build him up so valuable that we have to overpay him. You see what I'm saying there? It's just so I'm not going to look into a negotiation with a 36-year-old guy last year, coming off injury, and he was playing at an all-pro level. I'm like, I just, all right. So we don't need to dwell on it too much more, but that's my side of it.
Yeah.
I'm 50-50.
It's fair. I think 50-50 is definitely fair. And I think right now with all the smoke and everything, it should be
100% gone. I could believe that.
Yeah, exactly. And I do think like 50-50 is definitely fair. I don't know. It's probably just my own bias, but I've been sitting on like this 80%, and honestly, it was going higher, but it's just with all the rumors and stuff, it does make it seem like he is headed towards he's leaving, but they are ultimately just rumors. So then it's like once they get debunked, I'm like, all right, I'm coming down a little bit again, but.
I texted you yesterday. Oh my God, I can't believe this. Who his sources were. But let me ask you this question. It's more a team thing. I believe talk about Christian Wilkinson. I believe talk now about trading for Snead. Are these hey, we're gonna build around, or this is a future plan, and we're gonna sign these guys for 3-year contracts or whatever, or we're gonna put this money onto a cornerback and a defensive tackle and probably in our defense. These seem like win now moves to me, man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hand over to a player to be named later. I don't know about that. I think they want to get Daniil. I think they want to get Kirk. I think they want to extend Justin. They're not going to extend Darisaw this year. They're not. They didn't extend Justin, so they're not going to do it for Darisaw. They're going to wait till next year. They can't.
Yeah, probably.
They have to wait.
Yeah.
And so I feel like these are win now moves. And in the third year of your 3-year plan of your competitive rebuild,
right,
you're gonna bail.
But you can't
on the quarterback position for 1 year. Yeah,
but I don't know. Like, I guess in my opinion, I'm not convinced. I mean, obviously he was playing really well. In the beginning of the year, I wasn't.
It's a risk, man. I know it.
I wasn't super impressed, but his injury, like from their standpoint, and he's 36. So I do think that they're ultimately going to continue doing this whole competitive rebuild thing. And
he says he's done with it. This is the 3rd year. This is the end of his competitive rebuild. He said
he did. So coming into this next year,
that's the thing. People, I'm not saying you, but you may have not heard it, but people put a clip out there or a quote. These aggregators put their spin, on it with this, but leave out this, right? They put this, but they leave out this. So I'm like, I don't trust shit. I do not trust shit.
Right.
What people tell me, I will go look for it. Much like I did the Charlie Waters thing, you and me. And I'm like, I don't trust this. Let me go listen to the whole thing. And then I find out that, and I'm like, oh, okay. So.
Actually, before moving on, again, everybody in here, Ivan Pace Jr. rookie card. Get those hashtag Skols in. Get those in. We'll give it away at the end of the show. You already know. Like the video if you haven't already. But yeah. So
now let me remind people. I'm gonna do next week. I'm gonna give away the Dalvin Cook. So any comment under any of my videos, as long as you're subscribed, will be an entry, and I'll put your name in a ticket in the bucket with your name on it.
Skol Mafia's
they'll come out next week.
One could be on a heater. But no, back to the competitive rebuild thing is I do get what you're saying. Obviously, if you draft a guy early, you're hoping he's going to be able to do something early. Obviously, when you see a guy like CJ Stroud come in here and win a playoff game as a rookie, you think that's a possibility. You're not banking on that. So my thing is like if you did, because you have to think of the money long term too, and I do think that they want to make their team better. I for sure do not think the Vikings are headed towards a rebuild, like a full-on rebuild. So I think they still want this team to be as good as possible, even if they do have to bring in a rookie quarterback and maybe a lower level veteran or whatever. And yeah, that's not going to give you your best chance for a Super Bowl. But if you have some of these young players like Snead, which I don't know if I believe, I don't I personally don't want that trade to happen because they said they want Snead for a second-round pick. I think he's worth that, but there's enough cornerbacks going into free agency,
that's
at
true.
least before they're tagged, where I'm like, you better go in. There's guys better than Snead out there. If you're going to put $20 million on a cornerback, maybe go and try to get one before you give a second-round pick.
One of the things I was thinking when I said that, I says, well, now he's not playing for Kansas City. He won't be able to hold all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like,
I that sometimes it scares me. Trades scare me, man. Trades scare me.
and
especially defense sometimes, unless it's like edge rushers, not so much, but like secondary. Because I just feel like all the time cornerbacks go to a new place, get paid, and all of a sudden they just seem to dip more often than a lot of positions.
Yeah, I agree. And Kwesi, he's gonna check on everything, and I like Spielman. I think towards the end he was Twitter shit. You made.
He's talking about the NFC North.
The NFC North guy.
Yeah.
I don't follow. I know someone retweeted it, so that's the only reason I saw it. But I don't follow those types of accounts, man.
Yeah. Those ones I know, like right away. It's like, it's
fake accounts. I don't follow them. I just don't. I got caught on. He got me once, and I didn't know who he was. I just started actively doing Twitter. Otherwise, I just been like occasionally.
Right.
But yeah, about 2 years ago, he got me, or a year and a half ago, he got me pretty good. Twice actually in the same day.
Yeah.
And I saw comments. Should we tell him? And I'm like, oh, that motherfucker's a liar,
dude. And they come out with all kinds of crazy stuff. Like they go deep.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. It's completely random. So this one was actually like a legit one that would really catch people off guard. But this time of year,
it totally looks legit, right?
Yeah, I'm waiting for Schefter to come out and his.
That's another thing. You don't see Florio's stuff being shared by other major people. You do not.
Mm-hmm.
You have him making the rounds, right? But nobody else is putting their name to it. Nobody else putting their name to it. And that's the first thing I look for, is not TPP sharing it, JPL or ML football. I'm not looking for them to share it. They're just aggregators. One's a 17-year-old kid from South Florida. I met him personally. And I don't believe a damn thing he says after he literally lied about something. And I saw him do it again in the same day. I even DM'd him and said, you're making it look bad and you're getting a rise out of a lot of Viking fans. No response. He's dead to me. So just so you know, ML football is a 17-year-old kid that I picked up in an Uber and drove him to synagogue one Sunday. And that's how I know who he is.
And that's one, because when you first mentioned that, though, I mean, he was dropping just normal stuff. It was like,
I don't disagree. I agree with you there. He had some Dalvin Cook information for me, because he did get sources, but he was being fed stuff from agents, because these guys, some of these major guys, like probably this JPL guy, if you see like a gold check mark, they got some sort of affiliate. Like he's got credentials, because he basically duped him into giving him credentials, and the NFLPA gave him the list of agents and who to contact, and he could walk in and do a meeting. But you never see this guy do any appearances. Why? Because at the time I met him, he was 16 years old, and he looked like he was 12 in my back seat. I wanted to go out and get my kid's high chair to give to this kid, and I feel bad. But after I saw him flat out lying and misrepresenting what people were saying a couple days ago, I don't give a crap anymore. And it wasn't even like like it was one guy says, "Oh, so and so says Kirk is signing in Atlanta," and the guy retweets says, "I did not say that. Stop misrepresenting what I'm saying." I'm like, and I literally sent that to him saying, "Hey, what's with this, man? It looks bad." And he didn't respond. So I'm like, F him.
Yeah, dude. There's no question. I've been seeing his stuff. It's been BS for a while. I think some people probably just get down, like they just figure out clickbaity stuff works for growth and things like that. But speaking about growth,
confirmation bias, he doesn't just do Vikings, right? He does the whole NFL.
Right.
So he has a huge base of people that are looking for confirmation bias of things that they want to happen. And if this guy sends it, they're going to retweet it saying, hey, see, even TPP once quoted, ML football is reporting that this, and I text them, hey, TPP, because I was one of their, I met them when they were 50 subscribers, and I said,
right,
hey, I want you to know that that's a 16-year-old kid in South Florida that you're using as your source. Like, he literally said, ML football is reporting. I'm like, dude, that's just an aggregator. He's just sharing that information, and it's bullshit. And and this is God's honest truth. I DM'd ML football. I said, where are you getting that information? And he goes, oh, I was reading Star Tribune, and a couple of times, and that's what I'm getting that from that. And I said, so, hey, TBP, he got that information from reading a newspaper. Well, it was on the online newspaper, but I'm like, yeah, so that's his source, is basically stuff it was his opinion. Right. And he was, man, don't trust him. Don't trust these people.
No, I don't trust. I mean, I don't give anybody 100% unless it's like Schefter, like coming from like as legit source as possible. Maybe some are pretty good. Like
I think those guys are legit.
The Florio's like Pro Football Talk. They're not always right for sure, but it's more reliable than some of them. So when they come out with some stuff, so I'm like, I don't know, but I never believe it 100%. But Skol Mafia says up to 113 followers. Well, I'm a loser. Dude, Skol Mafia, you just got to keep grinding, man. We got to get you to the top of Twitter, bro. That's what we got to do, Skol Mafia. We got to get you just grind out there. And
I've posted several times, a couple times the past year. If anybody wants to know how to grow on either YouTube or Twitter, I don't know how to grow on freaking Instagram. I don't know. I don't get Instagram, but one of these days I'll figure it out. But if you want to know how to grow on Twitter and you want to know how to grow on YouTube, let me know. I'll gladly sit down with you.
Definitely.
TPP did, and now they're like 2,500 after like 4 months.
Yeah, they're getting pretty big out there. Do you guys believe Mike Florio? I mean, Dave had a whole thing on this. Ultimately, not really. I mean, there's been too many things.
Go rewind after the show, and you'll hear what I had to say.
Yeah, he's Dave goes pretty in depth on Florio there, but no, I would say. Maybe there's a little bit of truth there. I mean, he probably does have some sort of insights and some sort of things, but I do not think he 100% knows what he's doing. Because obviously, like Dave did mention, there's been multiple times where he has said things for them to ultimately not come to fruition and not be true. So I don't know. I just don't really believe anybody. I don't believe anybody until I see the real reports. It's too hard. It's like, it's nothing but smoke constantly. I'm more of like a guy, if I see a lot of reports, if I see like a general, I don't know, like even like reading into all the things Kwesi has said, to me, I kind of look at the patterns between that to see where I think's going, or like how all the reports coming from Atlanta, or all like the fact that Atlanta wants Kirk Cousins. Like, there hasn't been a reliable source that has actually came out and said that, but since it's came up so many times, I do feel like it's real that the Falcons actually want Kirk Cousins.
The information about Atlanta and Arthur Blank check, go get him. Coming from one guy.
I don't believe like that
or whatever his name is.
But since there's so many, and then there is some bigger names on that, I'm like, I bet you the Falcons actually do want him. Do I think maybe not as much as people think, like where they're willing? I don't know. But Kirk walks, I'm hoping
they were getting Fields, right, for like 2 days. Like that was like they were trading for Fields, and
now it's back to Kirk Cousins again.
Yeah,
Which even us with Fields, I was like, stop.
This was my
tweet.
That's
crazy.
This was my tweet yesterday. Hear me out. After finding out on Pat McAfee's show that Mike Florio gets his information from loyal readers, I want to start sending him information. Who should I pretend to be, and what information should I send him in the comments? And rap. Pretend to be Arthur Blank's third cousin and say, hey, my aunt told me. Kirk called her and said he's coming to Atlanta. Oh, gosh. There was a couple others, but... Oh, tell him you're Jackson Mahomes and your brother Pat told you he's about to demand a trade from the Kansas City Chiefs to Vikings. He wants to play with JJ. Oh, my God. Pat Mahomes coming. Pat Mahomes coming. Mahomes.
Hey, let's go. That's what we need.
Sources tell me that, and credible sources, by the way. How about that? He mentions, why would you let this come out of your mouth? That Kirk Cousins was asking about number 8 from Kyle Pitts.
Mm-hmm.
Just to have Kyle Pitts quote tweet it and say, man, you guys are just making stuff up. I mean, why would you let that come out of your mouth? Hey, this is not true. I don't know if this is true or not. I haven't confirmed it, but there's words that Kirk Cousins is asking about number 8 from Kyle Pitts. Yeah, and Kyle Pitts just shot it down like immediately.
The Trey Love. So what do you think about that? The Trey Lance thing. So let's just say,
yeah, that's back in full force again, right?
Yeah, that's back in full force. And I wouldn't be. So this is where I'm at with that. Because if the Vikings, if we didn't, I'm at the point now where I'd like to have one of the top 4 quarterbacks. Obviously, the top 3, and I have JJ McCarthy rounding out my 4th spot. And then, I mean, if it went to the second, Bo Nix and Michael Penix were there. I don't know. I wouldn't be super mad, I guess, if they got him in the second round. I'm not as big on them. Penix can definitely throw. He's not what I think he could come in and end up being one of a really good quarterback, but I just don't want his style as a quarterback.
I would probably flip my TV screen. That I don't know if you can reverse the image so I could watch him
right-handed. Watch him play right-handed. Exactly.
And I was a big proponent of Steve Young. Mm-hmm. He's left-handed, and I think he did not have a strong arm. I was watching the quarterback competition. He could barely throw it 60 yards in the air. And the All-Star weekend, they had the quarterbacks throwing. But yeah, I did. I had no idea, but just some quarterbacks could throw it over 70 yards, but Steve Young struggled to throw it 60, but he looked like he could zip the ball. Mm-hmm. And I seen him. My first game I ever saw in the stadium was Vikings versus 49ers, and Steve Young that was the year he won the Super Bowl. And I'm like, dang, and last game of the year, Sean Salisbury beat them. Steve Young got taken out after the first quarter because they had it locked up. And our defense crushed them. But Steve Young, 10 for 10 in that game. 10 for 10, just zipping the ball around. One of the best ever. I didn't mind him throwing the ball, so I don't know why I have a problem now. I just don't know why I have a problem now with it.
Dude, it just looks weird. I mean, it does. That part for me isn't so bad. And I think he does have a really nice arm.
Angle.
It's just that he does
the arm angle too.
And it can be a while. I am worried about
left-handed Phillip Rivers.
Hey, what up, JJ Vikings in the building? What's going on, dude? It's just I want a guy who can move more. And I know he has the ability. He did it in Indiana ever since his injuries. He doesn't move much for when he played the last 2 seasons with Washington. But ultimately, I want a quarterback that I think if the pressure comes on, I think he can get out of the pocket and extend the play with his arm. And you don't see
Michael Vick mixed with Peyton Manning.
That'd be perfect.
God damn it.
That'd be great. That might be Jaden Daniels. That might be Jaden Daniels.
So a little. One of the things I like, JJ McCarthy, not his hand size, 9 inches.
9 inches.
That's
even all right.
Smaller than Culpepper, and he complained about his hand size.
Yeah, Joe Burrow had 9.
Yeah. Anyways, 9-inch hands.
Penix has 10.5 inches.
That's insane. That's some shit right there. Yeah. I want Penix now. You know how I like it.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm all about the hand size.
What I also like about an athlete is their 3-cone drill. And sub 7, you're good. He was the 5th best in the whole combine. McCarthy.
Did he run the 3-cone drill?
Yeah, I didn't know that. 6'8".
Dang.
6'8". And that does is 91 percentile of all quarterbacks since it's been measured, right? 91 percentile. And one of the things I said about between him and Bo Nix, they both can scramble, but McCarthy is better at it. He's quicker. He can get away faster. He's got more burst, I want to say. And that 3-cone drill, man, is real. It's real, man. If you're good at that, you are a shifty motherfucker,
dude. And he is, I think. And one thing I want to actually talk about this real quick with Skol Mafia. JJ, don't ever say sorry. I saw the idea of tweet you put out. Your work is unmatched, little Skol bro. Just might be the end for Barr and Kendricks. I saw the tweet.
JJ, don't apologize for that.
Yeah, don't apologize. You're allowed to have your opinions, JJ. Don't let. That's the one thing, and I wanted to talk to you about this specifically. Is Twitter is a tough game, and you're going to get some people who are on there to do nothing but bring you down, to troll you, and don't let them win. If you come out with your opinion, you're allowed to do that, and you shouldn't apologize for it. So use Twitter as an opportunity to try not to take things personally, because there's going to be people out there who are going to get personally. I've seen a couple things where people have said something to you and you kind of came back to apologize for it, but don't apologize for it. You're a good kid and
just move on.
You're allowed to have your opinion.
Silence is better.
Yeah. 100%.
But hey, JJ, you are great at Twitter. You're one of the best at it. You're one of the best at it. You're going to be huge.
Yep. Just don't mind the people who are in there just to be trolls, because there's going to be a lot of them, and there's
a few in here. Hey, I would love to show everybody me and Skol Mafia. Our latest conversation is hilarious.
Over on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know if you want. Do you want to bring it up?
I give Dave hell on Twitter, but love the whole guy.
This conversation was absolutely hilarious. But
yo, JJ, of course, hey man, you can always talk to us. If there's anything on Twitter, if you feel like someone's pushing you, or you're not liking what people are saying or whatever, definitely come talk to us and obviously the uncles, man, because we got you for sure. But I wanted us. Wait, do you want to bring up the stuff for Twitter?
You want to bring it up? Oh, just the one.
Yeah, I can do that.
Which I gotta find out which one it is. I don't tweet a whole lot. I mean, but
where X? It's still twitter.com.
Oh, I think it was the Florio one. Yeah, it was the Florio one. So it was yesterday, one day ago. And Skol Mafia.
So wait, where do I go for this?
Just my page.
Okay.
And there'll be a picture of Mike Florio.
I see JJ McCarthy. Oh, all right, I got him. Let me bring this up here real quick. All right, so hear me out. After finding out on the Pat McAfee show that Mike Florio gets his information from loyal readers, I want to start sending him information. Who should I pretend to be, and what information should I send him in the comments?
So my first comment within seconds of posting this, because I think he's watching me, is Skol Mafia. Okay. Skol Mafia is the first guy, actually. So click on that. And he goes, what will you
tweet when you're... Oh, yeah, sorry.
So what will you tweet about when your boy is gone? And this is a tweet he was trolling Kirk stands. It's the scene from Rose was on the door, and Jack is falling. You know, he's dead. He's in the water. Yeah.
Titanic.
There wasn't enough room for Jack. So read my comment.
So I guess we will have to figure it out together.
So I used his tweet from the Titanic. Keep going.
Surprised you didn't like that tweet.
And I go,
Rose would have let Kirk on the door. Once the battle of the cousins is over, we cool, Dave. I truly give you hell for fun. It's not personal. We all Vikings at the end of the day. Just want a different direction for the team. So the battle continues if he gets extended. No, I gotta ride it. I'm a Vikings fan. I won't be happy, but I'll deal and shut up. Hey, I feel that.
And I go, erroneous.
What's wrong with that? I'm a little skeptical. Forgive me. I'm a Vikings fan. What a choice would I have if I wouldn't cheer for him to lose? I'm talking about the shut up part. Don't forget I'm shy, remember? Not on Twitter, you're not. Yeah, you're definitely going back. That's going to be interesting, though.
That was the most friendliest conversation between me and Skol Mafia on Twitter ever. But it was hilarious.
Oh, yeah, we're going to do a mock tonight. We'll do some mocks tonight.
We got to do it, because I got to interview Kirk's minivan today.
You got what?
I got to interview Kirk's minivan. That's her Twitter handle.
Oh, okay. Wait, tonight you do?
At 9 o'clock. So
okay.
39 minutes.
Oh, dang. So we got to do that soon. Okay.
We're doing now.
One thing before we go and doing in that, so let's talk about real quick. Obviously, all right, let's just do some free agent stuff really quick. Daniil Hunter, what do you think happens with him?
It's a rough one there, because I think that will go into free agency.
Ultimately, I think he'll go test his waters, and that's what I say with.
Well, it might get done like, hey, he got terms agreed upon with so and so party, and the but that's how we got what's his name, who was the defensive end we got from the Packers? It was going to go
Zadarius Smith.
Yeah, so remember Zadarius Smith was going to Baltimore, so he agreed to go to Baltimore, and we got him later.
Right.
It was a Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
And so we ended up getting him. But that could happen with Daniil Hunter, where, he has an agreement, but then, it just doesn't get done, and maybe we still have a shot at him.
Yeah.
But are we going to lose both Cousins and Daniil? I'm like,
I don't think so. I think if we lose Cousins, I think Daniil Hunter will, because that's another thing you were talking about earlier, how it's like,
you probably have a better shot at him. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what you were talking about earlier, is like if we made these moves, like go grab Wilkins, or especially if he traded for Snead, it'd be like win now moves. That's a hard part. I think they're in a tough spot, because you do have talent. You have win now talent on your offense, you probably want them, but no matter what you do. So I do think that's why I'm saying, like, you can't, unless you were to trade JJ, you were to make all these big trades to Christian Jairus, all those guys. I just don't think you can go the direction of rebuild. So I'm like, your best bet is still to make a team competitive, I think, especially. And if you do grab a quarterback, you're hoping that your quarterback will turn around, hopefully quicker than later, and that he can put you in tension to win ultimately at some point. But in the
Tyler Fornes is talking about bringing in Saquon Barkley and Christian Wilkins.
Hey, what up, Rap? Saquon Barkley?
Yeah, Saquon Barkley and Christian Wilkins. That's it. That's who's talking about today, Tyler Fornes.
I want defense. Saquon, some people are saying you could get him for like $6 million a year or something. I'm like, I doubt that. Even though I'm like, does the running back thing really come down that bad where you can get Saquon for $6 million?
I would think he'd be one of the higher ones.
Yeah.
I think it would be double digits.
Yeah, probably. And I'm like, nah, I think I'm cool with Ty Chandler, and then even drafting someone. I kind of would want to go towards that direction, I think, even though Saquon could be good. If Saquon didn't have all these injury history, I'd feel a little bit better about it if we made a move like that. But I do not want to pay. How many times have we now, especially last year, pay over $10 million for a player for him to be injured?
What about the running back from the Raiders? What's his name?
Delvin Cook. Which one? Gus Edwards or Dobbins? Dobbins? Talking about Dobbins?
I don't know.
He was their starter. He's always injured.
Name the other free agent running backs.
Other free agent running backs.
There's a big one.
There's I don't even know at the top of my head.
God, I just talked about it yesterday.
Let's talk about 28.5. That's going over my head right now.
He's talking about the cap hit from Cousins.
Oh, gotcha. Josh Jacobs.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's a cap hit
from Raiders
for this year, regardless, right?
Isn't Josh Jacobs the Raiders? Do I get the wrong team?
Raiders. You said the Ravens.
No, I said the Raiders.
No, you said the Ravens.
Did I?
Yeah.
Rewind the tape.
I think you did. That's why I said Delvin Cook.
I swear I said Raiders, man.
No, I think you said Raiders.
I said Raiders. You're going to have to go back. I think it's bullshit. I'm going to go clip it.
Cat, who did you say, Raiders or Ravens?
I say Raiders or Ravens, people.
I think you said
But I know I meant Raiders, regardless. But yeah, Josh Jacobs. What were we talking about before Rap rudely interrupted us with the 28.5?
Or signing Barkley and just the whole free agent thing. Which poll? Which poll? Oh, yeah, about...
Dylan Dotson, he said Raiders.
No. Go. You guys need to go rewind that. You guys need to go rewind that. All right, I'll put it in.
Challenge flag thrown. I'm seriously gonna do that. I'm gonna get a ref uniform and a challenge flag.
No way. I mean, I could have heard it wrong. It's possible, but I don't think so. All right.
Anybody a comic fan? I got the Helverine today. Been looking for that one.
Nice. All right. Now I could be wrong. I mean, so far it sounds like I might be, but let's see. I'm gonna go check myself right now.
What? Whether or not I said Raiders or Ravens?
Yeah.
Don't waste time, man.
All right, I'll figure it out afterwards.
Dylan Dotson, man, he knows his shit.
I'll figure it out afterwards.
Hey, by the way, guys, the last time, you guys that we did the show on my channel, and it was a record viewership.
Maybe you did say
all time of the Skol experience. So me and Casey are gonna go solo or duel, and we're gonna leave Jamie out because we hit the #1 mark with Jamie out. So no, I'm kidding. But hey, thanks for pushing our show the last time we were on. Over 500 viewers. My biggest one was TJ Hawkinson. For my biggest live show ever was 700 with TJ Hawkinson got traded. Mm-hmm. So these guys, we broke 500 for the first time.
Let's go.
In the off season, before Florio.
Yep, before Florio. Dude, it's a good time of the year. Where's Casey went to a concert. He said Raiders.
Taylor
Swift
on ice.
All right.
He went to Taylor Swift on ice.
So I must have thought you said Ravens. My bad.
We did. Yeah. We said Ravens when I was talking about Smith.
Yeah, you did.
You did. I mean, you said Ravens.
I
said Ravens.
I heard it wrong. Okay, it's all good. We're good. Speaking of the Za'Darius thing, I did want to say Anthony Barr was in that same situation where he went to the Jets and then he pulled out to come back to the Vikings. So we have a history of that kind of stuff.
Twice, because we're a destination franchise.
Dude, we are. Like that's what we have to do. When you're from Minnesota and it gets cold here, you just have to create a great franchise, and that's what the Vikings have done here.
You got to get a coach that gets an A+.
Yep, an A+.
Yeah, you serve good food in the cafeteria.
Yeah, Jacobs is a free agent. Man, there's other ones too. I'd have to go look at the list again. I guess I could bring those up.
Yeah, I mean,
bring that up real
Derrick
quick.
Henry. There's a kid from, T. Higgins.
But I appreciate the couple people that picked Ravens for me.
Oh, did they do?
It was 33% to 66%.
Yeah, Pollard's like she says, Pollard is a free agent. He's willing to come back for less money, he says. Or that was a report today. I don't know if that's real though.
We'll start this one. Classic. Hey, everybody in here again. Another show. We'll probably do this somewhat soonish, I guess, but another rookie card giveaway. Ivan Pace Jr. This is my last one for now. I'll probably go grab some more, but get those hashtag Skols in, like the video, subscribe to me, GG Sports Podcast with Casey, who's gone today, and Dave with Minnesota Sports Talk. Get those hashtag Skols in, those likes in, all that good stuff. Get them in. Here, let me bring up some free. I just want to look at all the free agent, because that's the thing about. I wish we had all the money right now. That's another thing too. Is this free agency in the last couple have not been good for positions of need for us, and this is one that absolutely is. Chris Jones, Christian Wilkins, which I really do hope we do land.
Who's that second guy?
Oh, and they moved Danielle Hunter up. Nice.
We had the number 2 and number 4 free agents.
Yeah.
Leaving our team. And we're just let them walk.
We keep Danielle.
we got the inside track of 2 of the top 4 free agents. We're going to let them walk.
We'll let Danielle Hunter stay. That's what it's going to be. That's what they're waiting for, Danielle Hunter. They're figuring out, like, all right, what's happening with everybody. Even them are figuring out what's going to happen with Kirk. You can't even move past that stage until that's figured out. It's hard to even think about any other moves until that's figured out. Saquon, Jonathan Greenyard. I mean, look at all the positions of need. Defensive tackle, technically quarterback. If you
Wilkins is number 3.
Number 3, defensive tackle.
What I heard from my Miami buddy,
Saquon.
he was talking about how he might want $20 million a year. Wilkins,
which I wouldn't be surprised if he does. The problem with him is he's a guy that still is. You're kind of waiting, like he has productive seasons, but it's not like he's been a dominant player, but people think he can be in the right system type of thing.
And we don't have to mock tonight. We'll do it next week. We can talk free agents.
Next week's going to be all about, next week we'll probably tap in on some of the free agency moves. But then obviously we're doing a big mock show next week as well. Jonathan Greenyard, offense. I mean, a guard, Mike. And I can never say.
Hey, what a year for if you need an offensive tackle. What if we traded Darisaw and got offensive tackle this year in the draft? There you go. No. Darisaw got injury issues.
He does have some.
I heard Mike Florio says the Vikings are looking to trade him.
Did he?
No.
Oh, I was gonna be like, oh, he completely lost my respect for sure now. So you got Kendall Fuller out here. Where's Jalen Johnson? Did he get franchise tagged? Xavier McKinney.
Man, you're making me dizzy. Okay,
sorry, I'm looking at this.
Use the arrows.
Takes so long. Stephon Gilmore. So Jalen Johnson must have got the franchise tag. I must have missed that. Frankie Louvu. So linebacker, guard, linebacker. I mean, these are center, technically quarterback if we lose Kirk Cousins, Derrick Henry.
Hey,
Chase Young would be an interesting grab for me because I thought he was looking pretty good in playoffs. He also had a lot of talent around him. Za'Darius, go get him back. Yeah. There's Josh Jacobs, Jordan Brooks. I mean, all these players are pretty much
Andrew Van Ginkel.
Andrew, I don't even know who he is, but hey, he's 29. Go grab him. Levante David, Clowney. I'm pass on that. But guards, I mean, it's all players of needs. Fletcher Cox, defensive tackles, edge rushers, running backs, guards, like everything we would want from this free agency. It'd be nice. So it would be nice to be able to have some money. I know there's rumors saying the Vikings really like the idea going into next offseason with like $100 million, but we'll see what's up with that. Hey, what up, Skol for Life Barber?
You think Harrison Smith's gone?
You're with Cousins Minivan Live. Do I think Harrison Smith's gone? I don't. I would have said
Dylan Dotson. Let me answer that. No, it's not going to be live. I eventually am going to come back and start doing live interviews, but not this. These have been recorded on my channel, so yeah. I don't know. Minnesota Sports Talk. If you want to watch a bunch of interviews.
Dude, he's been slaying them in interviews. Just absolutely slaying interviews lately, man. It's going crazy over there.
I got 3 this week. 4 if you counted Skol Doc.
Jeez. That's craziness.
Janik Eckhart is I got him. I'm interviewing him on Thursday tomorrow.
Who? Sorry.
Janik Eckhart, the German that was Dusty Baker's buddy. He's hilarious. Cool. I didn't know Germans were funny. I am German, and I didn't know Germans were funny.
Back to the dude, for real. You've been killing it, Dave. #proud. Yeah, 100%.
Thanks, Gary.
Going back to your Harrison Smith question, I would have just assumed that he was going to get cut because they have so much money, but I do think there's a chance where he negotiates his deal or they negotiate a deal where, he doesn't obviously get paid that much money. Because I feel like he really would want to just stay as a Viking. I feel like that's what he'd want. So maybe if he'd have to, it'd be extremely significant. But maybe. But ultimately, I do think if it comes down to it, I think the Vikings would cut him because you gotta save that $11 million because Harrison Smith isn't worth near
and it's
that.
15 if it's post June 1st, according to Over the Cap.
Ooh, yeah. Exactly. So I don't know. Unless they were able to figure out some crazy deal, which it could definitely happen because I don't really understand. Anytime I start understanding how the cap situation works, I just completely don't.
If you could keep him and still save like $10 million.
Yeah.
I'd keep him.
I probably would. It'd be but I'm like, I just like Harrison Smith's one of my favorite defensive Viking players of all time.
Well, he's my current favorite player, and I'm willing to get rid of my 15 million.
Yeah. You gotta do it.
Jesus. So, but if he's willing to come back, because he is a leader, and he was the glue. He's the glue back there. It seems with these guys. But honestly, with Cameron Bynum kind of stepping up, and him being like just a great example, he knows the game now. He can. I bet he owes it all, and I think he's even said it to Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith basically brought him along, and credit Patrick Peterson too, because Patrick Peterson helped him with a lot of film study. Cameron Bynum. If you ever watched watch post game interviews after Bynum was kicking ass, right?
Yeah.
He was talking about Patrick Peterson watching film with him and stuff.
By Hitler's. Oh, dang, that's crazy. Yeah, dude.
Hey, one of the complaints I got is that we put comments up there really quick and take them off really quick.
I know. I need to. Sometimes
I've gotten that complaint, by the way.
I'm like, well, I was like, I don't know if that's one I'd want to keep up for too long, just because it's about Hitler, and Hitler obviously was a pretty bad guy. I mean, it's not a bad thing to say,
that owned by Hitler ran.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's insane. So I'm a big history buff in World War II, and I'm big Carl Owens from the 1936 Olympics. I was at a flea market, and I so wanted to buy the 1936 Olympic pin so bad. They did several of them, and of course it's got a swastika on it, and I'm like,
oh yeah, I suppose.
But it's Owens, winning the 1936. It's the big, oh man, I would love to, but then I don't want to have anything with a swastika on it.
It's history. It's history. It's a bad part of history for sure, but it is history.
Hey, do you know that was the first broadcast? So if the aliens, and it goes out there, right? If you send a broadcast, it goes out there, and you'd have to have like a big, amplifier to receive that signal if it goes way out into space, because it just continues to go out into space. And this is Neil deGrasse talking here. Is the first one to ever do that was the 1936 Olympics, and the opening ceremonies with freaking Hitler. So, and they did a movie, I forget what, some with Jodie Foster movie, and they did that because that was the first time the aliens sent them a message. They descrambled it, and there's a picture of Hitler. So yeah, now we're talking about Hitler. All right, let's go off that.
Yeah,
don't clip that. Don't clip that.
Yeah, obviously Hitler's bad, extremely bad, arguably the worst.
Here at the Skol Experience, we officially want to tell you that we disagree with
with
H. With the H.
Yeah.
That's our official stance.
Yep, 100%. Yeah. So, anyways, back to the cornerback situation. So that's another thing. Talking about Harrison Smith, if he's gone, if Danielle Hunter's gone, we do not have much veteran presence here at all with them two gone, and especially with Harrison Smith gone, especially in the secondary. So that's another thing. That's like the idea of like if you did bring Xavier Howard. That's why I like that idea, even though he hasn't been very productive recently. If you could get a somewhat good deal, you're probably paying a little extra for his name, kind of like we did with Patrick Peterson when we signed him. But it'd be nice to have a veteran back there. Or I had Stephon Gilmore up there as well. And I wouldn't mind bringing one of those guys in there, especially if Harry's gone, to, at the very least. I think they can definitely be productive still, but at the very least, just be able to be kind of that mentor of those groups, because we got to do something with our secondary. I personally think we can't just go back with the same secondary going into next year, even though Flores did do a lot of work with it. But what do you think on all that?
So Ben Lieber and I
Gilmore still productive though.
So this is something I agree with Ben Lieber. He was Dusty Baker. This guy got connections. He's got a very successful podcast, and he just does some YouTube work. I think there's a show with McKinney, our former tackle. I don't know if he's still doing it, but him and I want to say, what's her name on Twitter? We brought her on before. What's her name? Not.
Man, we've brought a Tanishka.
Not Tanishka. Yeah. She's disappeared on us.
Yeah,
but,
she's completely gone.
But anyways, God, why do Spice? I don't think we brought her on this one. So he did a show with McKinney and Spice. I don't know if they still do it. I've never actually listened to it, but So he brought on Ben Lieber, and Ben Lieber says, "I much rather having attack the defensive line. I think defensive line before cornerback all day long."
Oh yeah,
100%. And I agree with that, because I think that will just improve our cornerback play a ton. Is if we can get to the quarterback much faster,
right?
So I would rather concentrate on getting a Wilkins,
me too,
or a free agent quarterback any day of the week. And they brought, and if you're looking at it, are we gonna let Wanham and Daniil Hunter walk and have no start? And who else? Davenport. We have 3 of our top free agent edge rushers,
right,
all gone.
Yeah,
if we don't sign one of them. And what we're gonna, I keep forgetting his name, but the guy from Army. I'm like, is he gonna be our starting outside linebacker this year?
Andre Carter. No, 100%. If Daniil Hunter leaves, he immediately, the edge in a pass rusher specifically, becomes our biggest need, in my opinion, by far. And right now with Daniil Hunter not figured out yet, like I would say interior defensive line is our biggest need. And I do think grabbing Wilkins is the reason why we definitely need to do that. But if we lose Hunter, I think we need to fit, whether it's through the draft, we'll figure out what we do with one of our first or second round picks. But I do think you're going to grab one of those positions in free agency and at least draft one with your first or your second round pick, or the other ones for sure. But I do think you still have to pay attention to cornerbacks. I don't think you should go into next, because Byron Murphy didn't really step up the way you wanted him to. Caleb Evans definitely didn't. Blackman did kind of step up solid as a rookie, but there's a lot to be seen. And Andrew Booth Jr. did really solid quietly. So, I mean, maybe there's still some potential there, but there's some that I do think that defense, there's no question, our number one focus should be defensive interior. Unless we don't re-sign Daniil Hunter, then I think we need to get some sort of pass rush from an edge. But Wilkins would be a good one. Obviously, drafted during the Brian Flores era by Miami, so it just makes a lot of sense. But
so I was watching some individual drills at the combine of Laiatu Latu from UCLA, and that guy's got balance, man. He looks good, and he's the 3rd edge rusher in this top.
Well, because the thing about him, his injury. What? So he medically retired, and then he came back out, and then he had 15 sacks or whatever last season. But that's the thing with him, is that's what people are going to be concerned about.
Fall into the 4th round. We're taking him there.
Yeah, I'll take him there.
I would take him 18. I did not know. I didn't know that. And then, but I'm just telling you what I saw. That guy looks great.
Well, in Dallas Turner, next week, actually, I'm specifically diving into the edge rushers coming into this draft. But Dallas Turner, obviously, and we know what's his name, Chop Robinson, right? Chop Robinson. But Dallas Turner had just a freak show at the combine. That guy's a monster. I think he ended up running in the 4.4s. He had a 40-inch vertical. To me, he was the most impressive guy at the combine as far as his athleticism goes, which I know that was part of the reason why he's considered one of the top edge rushers. But he was also I think he was the number 2 rated prospect coming out of high school too, before going into Alabama. I think, Alabama, right? Yeah. No.
And he's from Fort Lauderdale. Should say hi. I should go over and talk to his mom.
Try to get him. You got to make it to the second round. And then Jared Verse obviously is the other guy that a lot. I mean, probably the most popular player being drafted to us is Jared Verse right now. I know, found an awesome movie last night.
He ran a 4.46. That's sick,
dude. 40 inch,
40.5 inch vertical and a broad jump at 10.7.
And he's 6'4", 250, something like that.
He is 6'3", 247.
Yeah, so close. Little
34 and 3/8 arm length. That is great. And 9 7/8 hand size, which is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Because honestly, think about it. If you're a defensive player or offensive lineman or whatever, you know, tugging and pulling and freaking hand size is very important. But even more so with the edge rusher, arm length, pretty important.
Definitely.
And both of those are great. And he's a junior. He's probably young.
Because him and Chop Robinson, very similar. I think Chop Robinson might have been the 6'4", 250 guy. And all their stuff, I think, for the most part, what's his name? Dallas Turner's was a little bit better, but I think he had like a 34-inch vertical where Dallas Turner had a 40.5, obviously. So ultimately, I mean, because everyone wants to talk about Chop Robinson, which I don't blame him because he was supposed to be projected as like a second-round pick, and now he'll probably go in the first because of how he did. But I think a lot of not enough
numbers.
Yes,
6'3", 254.
So 6'3",
2-inch shorter arms, 32 and a half, 9 and 1/8 inch hands, 40 time 4.48.
Yep.
Vertical 34 and a half, broad jump about 10.8. The same. That's still explosive.
Very explosive.
20-yard shuttle. He didn't run the 3-cone drill. I don't trust him.
The verse knock is inconsistent.
I like the 3-cone drill, guys. You got to do the 3-cone drill.
Right. And that's another thing about Dallas Turner is he's known to like throw it all on the field every play. He's that type of guy. I think he has some technique issues is what it would be for him not to be higher than he already is, even though I think he's going to be right now. I still have to look at the tape to really, really decide who I like the most because I haven't done that deep enough yet. But at least you're getting athleticism, you're getting effort out of him. So far, if it was up to me and we couldn't go quarterback, because there's a scenario where we can't go quarterback, and that is if the top 3 are gone, and if all these rumors about JJ McCarthy going in the top 10 and a team jumping over the Vikings to go grab him, because I do believe that. I think we are
talk about that.
No, we talked about it before. We talked about talking about it before.
So let's talk about it. So word on the street, some indie beat reporter said that the people around the league he really trusts say that teams are saying that they have to get above Minnesota to draft JJ McCarthy, that 11 is his floor. And I retweeted it because I was like, sounds right.
I like verse. Yeah, and that sounds about right to me, and I think that's what will happen. And ultimately, based on all the who knows what's really happening, nobody knows. Obviously, with the drop of what's a Tennessee kid from last year.
For me, Chop Robinson's outside linebacker material. I think he's more of a fit. Like I think he's a 3-4 outside linebacker. He's an edge, but he's also
because Turner ended up even choosing to work out with the linebackers during the combine.
Yeah. So
he has that same type of
build. I know when I saw some film on Chop Robinson, I'm like, damn, he's an outside linebacker, so he'd be a good fit for us.
Oh, I would definitely take him. He's the guy that you could could trade up in the second round
here. Yeah, his agility drill, he looked great.
Yeah, I have to look at. I like Verse, Chop, Turner in that order. Right now, I just based off of hype and athleticism, I'd go Turner, but I'm gonna, like I said, go and watch the tape to really decide. That's ultimately what you got to do. Speaking of tape, McCarthy's overhyped trash. I like his tape a lot. I don't think he's overhyped. I think now he might be overhyped now. Like, do I want to is he a guy I feel confident trading up for in the top 10? I think there's enough question marks there. If he landed there at 11 and we took him, I'd be like, great. But I think there's definitely a level between the top 3 and then him, but he has all the poise. He has all the confidence, the winning mentality, everything you see from the great quarterbacks that make them special. And I see that with JJ McCarthy. I think he moves around the pocket better than any of these quarterbacks do. And he can make every throw. He had accuracy issues at times, but then obviously looking at his stats, it kind of screams game manager potential. Obviously he's playing on a team that was a run first offense and all those kinds of things, but that big question mark and you not knowing for sure, I would.
But hey, his teammate said you should see him in practice.
Practice. Well, and plus Jim Harbaugh calling him the greatest Michigan quarterback of all time, and some other front office people calling that, and that's a pretty big thing to say when you come from the same school as Tom Brady.
For me, it's
hey, what up, Zoe? What up?
I'm not completely sold on JJ to go up and trade 3 firsts for him. No.
Exactly so.
I don't want to do that. But if we could trade up to 7, maybe not have to give up 2 firsts. Maybe just a 2 first.
Yeah.
At the most, maybe. I don't know.
If they moved up and they're like, I feel confident in their decision, I guess you gotta be.
So I saw the craziest thing on Twitter. I was reading, JJ McCarthy after the workout is a top 5 quarterback. And then JJ McCarthy can't throw left. And then JJ Ponder. So that one extreme to the next. Everybody talking about how great his throwing performance was. And everybody I was trashing Bo Nix. And I'm like, Bo Nix hit every throw except for the two of his 3 goal balls, and every throw he hit except for the 2 times his receiver fell down. But McCarthy underthrew a guy and airmailed the throw. Mm-hmm. All his bad throws were to the left. I'm like, and he threw 2 of his goal balls out of bounds, and I'm like, did he really have that great a throwing day? I didn't have a bad one. Neither of them had bad ones.
That's how I felt.
But Bo Nix wasn't terrible like people were saying, and JJ McCarthy wasn't. Oh, he solidified himself as a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. I like JJ McCarthy, but I agree.
Come on.
I felt like he was missing some throws definitely early on. He came on better later on, and then with Bo Nix, I would consider them similar. I would say like what Skol Mafia said here. Milton threw 62 miles per hour, and combine JJ threw 61. I think I think Bo Nix threw like 52 miles per hour, something like that, or maybe it was mid 50s. But obviously, so I mean that shows you the velocity JJ
that helps.
Does have.
But I did see his ball flutter in like tape. I seen his ball flutter, and I worry. I did not know his hand size at the time when I saw those videos.
Yeah,
and I'm like, is that something to do with it? I don't know. In cold weather, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how cold it was during those throws that I was looking on the highlight tapes where there was a little bit of flutter going on.
Yeah.
No, I was watching 3 full, like every throw from 3 games. And I was like, some of these throws are like, the deep balls were just wobbly. And I'm like, did it slip? I don't know. That's what I was worried. And I at the time I didn't know what his hand size was, but
yeah, he throws.
It looks like I'm gonna have to go here. So
sounds good. Yeah, let's run this giveaway here, but just answering this real quick. That's the thing about JJ. When you watch, he can just he's a guy like when there's pressure coming, he has that immediate instinct to get out of the pocket and then creates plays with his arms doing that. And he's 21. I think he has everything that you want from a quarterback. It's the real, like he's made all the throws. He's done all that. The real question is, can he actually play not play at a high level, but air the ball out in actual games, and that it's not just because he was on a rushing scheme with Michigan. So that's going to be the big question with him. I think he has all the tools. He's only 21 years old. He has a winning mentality.
That's where I give him the benefit of the doubt, and I think it's worth the risk.
Yeah,
but I don't want him starting year 1. I don't.
For sure don't want to start him day one, and then if he's
day one, like
if he
I get the whole
himself
mid-season
or
thing.
whatever. Yeah,
I can see the
I'm
whole
with you on
mid-season
that.
thing. Yeah,
and I'm still like that with Drake May. I think Drake May isn't a day one starter either, even if he has all the intangibles that you want. I don't think he's a day one starter.
None of them are, honestly.
I honestly think Jaden Daniels is the most likely to be a day one starter, in my opinion, even over Caleb Williams.
Because you have such great athletic ability, but god damn it, he needs to learn how to slide.
Yeah, he has to do that, but he just plays in the pocket very well, and he's not a mistakes guy. And even Caleb Williams, like, he doesn't really play in the pocket. He just has an elite skill and one of the most, he's elite at one of the most elite skills that you can have in football as a quarterback. And that's why I like him. But there's definitely parts of his game, like, he's going to have to learn how to play out of the pocket more. And that's something you have to worry about. He'll be a day one starter no matter what. But yeah,
we'll see what's up. You're running your contest?
Yeah, sorry, Dave, got to go here.
3 minutes.
So Ivan Pace Jr. giveaway. I'm gonna run this thing right away. Got to be here to win. Y'all know the rules. Let's go. All right, 10 entries. We're running it. Got to be here to win. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Too evil. I see that. Who do we got tonight? We've got the winner is boom. Too evil coming in here and trashing JJ McCarthy and gets the W.
If you think Cousins is polarizing, Vikings Twitter is polarized on JJ McCarthy.
Let's go.
Holy shit. It is
Sorry,
polarizing.
JJ. Sorry, JJ. I'm going to get some more Ivan Pace Jr. rookie cards, though. But yeah, dude, 100%. Someone brought up Joe Milton. One more thing, guys. Because he threw, obviously, big arm. He's like a poor man's Anthony Richardson to me. But, man, that dude is – I've watched him because I know Rap really likes him. But I just feel like he gives me
strongest
Kellen,
arm
in the draft. Yeah, he gives me Kellen Mond in the pocket drives. He gives me like he's a robot.
Go.
Okay,
I gotta go. See everybody.
Right. Hey, see everybody. I'll stay on for a second here, guys. I'll stay on for just a second here. But that's the thing with Joe Milton is he just gives me kind of mechanical, robotic vibes. When he drops back, he kind of just stays in one spot in the pocket and just throws out of there. So that's what scares me about him. I don't think I feel like that's what Kellen Mond looked like coming in, and obviously we know how he all turned out and all that stuff. But fuck it, mock. I'll do a mock. Why not? We'll do a mock and then I'll hop off here. So I do. I'm gonna keep it smaller though. Yeah. He has all the intangibles you want, like that bit. It's just like Anthony Richardson, but not as athletic as Anthony Richardson. But he looks robotic in the pocket. Like, you're not going to really see him move out of the pocket unless he's going to run. And I think he'd ultimately be too big of a project for what we want for Vikings anyways. All right, let me get a mock up here. Usually have Casey do the mocks lately. PFF mock. All right, this is going to be you guys. We'll do 4 rounds. Let me get this bad boy up. Sam Hartman is him. Too evil. Are you on the Sam Hartman hype train with all the ladies out there? Is that what it is, Too evil? I mean, that dude does got crazy hair. He does. All right, here we go. Yeah, no, Dave's recording a video with a guest that I think they're starting right now. All right, we'll just run it like this. We'll keep all the settings the same. Enter draft. So do you guys want to do this? You want to go to our pick? Do you want me to stop early? How do we want to do this mock? He's on the East. Who's on the East Coast gridiron train? Sam Hartman. Oh, I got it. Sam Hartman. So I watch Sam Hartman, and when I go into these players, I usually start with their highlights just to see like an idea of who they are. And he was someone I watched and I kind of liked him. But when I went into his tape, it just it was nothing but game manager type of play. I looked into his stats too. I saw that like 2-3 years ago he had like a 90 something PFF grade, and it just dropped significantly every year. But I don't know. I don't see the arm strength out of him. I do respect like him being the first guy to do a lot of those combines drills. I really respected that out of him. But about nothing. It didn't impress me. It didn't impress me. He can move around the pocket. He has sneaky athleticism. You can see that, and he uses it. And I do see that, but it's a lot of really short passes constantly. And it just is a game manager. Like maybe he ends up being a pretty good backup quarterback, and I think that would be his ceiling. He throwing dots. I didn't really see that. And if they were throwing dots, it was short to intermediate routes when watching his tape. You want me to slow this down a bit? All right. How do we want to go into this? Do we want to stop at a pick and try to do a trade up? He's throwing turds. Gotta go, appreciate. Hey, see you, JJ. Thanks for popping in, man. Come up for Jaden if he makes it to 5. All right, we're gonna go to 5. Which PFF for whatever reason still has him dropping to our pick, but we'll try to be a little bit realistic on this one. All right, let's start this bad boy. I'll bring it slower. Much slower than that. All right, a little bit faster than that though. Drake May. All right. He is available. Man, they got him going. They got him Malik Neighbors going instead of Marvin Harrison Jr. So what are we thinking? We want to trade up here, make the trade and go grab our quarterback of the future. If Hartman was on Michigan and JJ with Notre Dame, no one would know who JJ is. I disagree. I honestly disagree because you just didn't get to see the full play of JJ anyways. Like you only got to see bits and parts anyways. And if you go look at his tape, he's smooth. He is smooth in the pocket. His step backs and his stepping into the pocket is nice. It's nice. He looks better, in my opinion. He looks better. I wasn't a big JJ guy until I watched his tape, to be honest. Draft Bo Nix here. Okay. I like that. Let me go find him. I'll have to make the trade up first. So let's do that. So we'll give him that. We'll give him the 11th. I'm keeping the second round pick. We'll give him, we don't have to do that. Second for next year. I could give him one of the fours. That's not going to work. How should we do this? 130, 109. No, they're going to want a second. They'll do that. I'm really feeling that. We could even play and go give them a first round next year. I guess this would be a good deal for us if we were to make this trade. So let's try that. We'll give them a second from next year and our 11th for this year. Let's do it. Not accepted. You just got to do it a couple times, right? There it is. Watch Jim Harbaugh take JJ and trade Justin. Don't rule that out. That'd be crazy. That's one thing. If we do get JJ McCarthy, we can't call him JJ. We're going to have to come up with a new nickname for JJ McCarthy. We can't have two JJs on the team that are like significant part of it. Draft Marvin. Nah, we got to go quarterbacks. Too evil. You're not a Jaden Daniels guy? We're rocking it. We're going Jaden Daniels. We have to do this. This would be, if you trade up, you're grabbing Jaden Daniels. I honestly think there's a good chance he still ends up being the second quarterback drafted in this one. Oh, you do like Daniels? Okay. See what we got here. Jared Verse at 18. Let's kind of speed up a little bit, maybe. Frazier, Troy Franklin, Mitchell, Kool-Aid McKinstry, JJ McCarthy's gone. We're going to our pick here. All right, what do we want to do here? Might actually be low-key. Too Evil might actually be low-key Kirk. Is that true, Too Evil? All right. So, yeah, there is Bo Nix is still out here. We could double up on quarterback. Obviously, I really like Braden Fisk here. Average draft is 56, rank 43. See, PFF kind of has this wrong. I mean, he had himself a day. You got Chop Robinson. Man, you got to go Chop Robinson here. Let's look at trades. Pick 51. Do you guys think that would be worth it? Or do you just go in the real draft, you go Chop Robinson instantly at this pick, I think. But I do like Braden Fisk here as well. So maybe you could trade back and get a pick at 51 and then grab one of them. It's Chop. Yeah, we can't play around that much. You got to grab Chop Robinson if you get him here 100%. And that's what we're going to do here. I might mess around though, because we need the defensive interior. I'm going to go into the top of the second round. I might do a trade up here. Let's see. Who all needs defensive interior? I'm going to go down to 70. Taking some chances here. Fudge. Damn it. I wanted Sweat. Now I don't even know. PFF needs to be able to show you your players if you are not up. It screws me up every single time. Trice is gone. I wanted Sweat really bad. I was hoping he was going to last longer than that. I guess keep going down to our next picks. Since I don't know who else is available right now. Dolores, he was available. Brennan Rice. Hart, cornerback. Is he available? Yeah, I know you've talked about that one before. I'll have to. I think I only like PFF because I can click on, well, first off, I pay for it. So kind of want to use it because of that. But then obviously you can go into their grades and all that kind of stuff. All right, I might just make a trade up and we'll see what happens. Kind of going a little fast here. Blake Corum. You know what? Screw it. Let's see if we can move up here. I just want to see who's available. Not that. 145. They ain't gonna do that. Could use both our fourth rounders to move up. Would you guys do that? Would you trade two fourth round picks? Nah, because we're right there. No, I'm gonna run this through. I just gotta run this through, I think. Let's see what happens here. We're gonna go for it. We're just gonna rock it. All right. Yeah, let's just roll this one out. So, we could use a center. We're at 109. Tommy Eichenberg. I heard him. I don't know. I think I looked to see. I don't remember how well he did at the combine. Obviously, we still technically do need linebackers, especially if you don't re-sign Jordan Hicks. So this is definitely a player that we could grab if we wanted him there. We already got an edge. You got Jarvis Brownlee here. Obviously, in Flores' defense, you kind of want higher man coverage, I feel like. Cornerback and running back. I really do like that Trey Benson. What's this trade looking like? Next pick, 133. Nah. I don't think so. So I wonder if I can stick around to grab Trey Benson at the next pick, but I might not be able to. Cornerback. Oh, there's Hart. There we go. Okay, this is what we wanted, Gary, and I can see why. 83.3 overall grade. Allowed 15 receptions, 0 touchdowns. And the big one, 84.2 coverage grade. And, of course, looking at quarterbacks in a Brian Flores defense, you really want a guy that is great in man coverage. And Cam Hart is definitely that. I think we pull the trigger on him. I I like Cooper. I think it's going to be, I like Cooper Beebe a lot, and this would fill a hole for us, especially if we don't keep Reisner around. So I think what I'm going to be looking for on our last pick is either Cooper Beebe or Leonard Miller, or Leonard Taylor's also could be a good one too, even though he did not look great in the draft. So I think that's what I'm going to, or in the combine, that's what I'm going to kind of be looking for. I want Benson to drop, Taylor to drop, or Cooper Beebe to drop. I'll probably look at some other options, but let's go with Cam Hart here with this pick. Boom. Let's go. Let's see what we got. How this rolls out for us going forward. Come on. Give me one of those guys. Give me one. Trey Benson's gone. Taylor's gone. All right. I got to do it. This guy's a monster. This guy's a monster. 83.9 overall grade. Only allowed 2 sacks. Has a 90.4 pass block grade. Fantastic. True pass set, pass block grade, 91.1. I don't even know what that completely means, but we'll take that all day. And plus, I've watched this guy's tape, and he is a mauler. He puts people on their asses over and over and over again. This guy's going to be a stud, and I have a feeling he's going to be that sneaky player that you see drafted earlier than he should be, that a lot of people weren't really talking about. And I think he was the highest on the last day of Combine. He might have gotten the biggest boost from his performance. So I'm definitely going with him. Let's go. Let's go. Thanks, Casey. Hey, Too Evil, I helped you win the card, bro. You can't call me Casey. C for that. Crazy. This is an A draft. A anyways. Yeah, Chop Robinson, A-. That should be obviously A+. Jaden Daniels, that should be an A+. Cam Hart, I think should at least be an A. I don't know a lot about him yet, but Cooper Beebe, obvious A grade. That's a good draft. That's a very solid draft. We might have even been able to stick at 11 and grab Jaden Daniels, but that's super unrealistic. So we ain't going to do that. But hey, we'll take that. Oops, I meant Jamie. Come on, Too Evil. What are you doing, bro? But yeah, I think that is about it. I think moving forward, obviously, right around the corner, Monday, we will be hearing some real things about Kirk Cousins. Hopefully at least an idea what's going on with Danielle Hunter to some extent. But the big one is, who cares about anything else until this whole Kirk Cousins thing is figured out or not, whatever. But that is Monday, so it's about time. We waited, ever since we lost to that Packers game, everybody's turned their attention to Kirk Cousins and what's going to happen to him in the offseason, and we finally get to see what it's all going to be about on Monday, where me and Casey will be going on on our live stream next Monday to talk about that very thing and anything else that comes up with the beginning of free agency or with beginning of these internal talks and everything to the players. And I think Wednesday is the day where you can actually make the signings, but it's going to be a good one. I'm excited. And then after that, we can kind of really focus on the draft. And I mean, if Kirk Cousins moves on, all the possibilities are endless after that. Dude, I can't wait. I'm so excited. It finally begins. That's when it's all smoke right now, but it's like the real offseason begins on Monday, where we can actually see the moves. We can actually start talking. We can figure out what holes are we going to fill with our free agents and what is going to be our actual needs going into the draft. No matter what, I think you're going quarterback. I don't see a scenario where you're not trying to get a quarterback as early as possible, and that's why we've been talking about it. But I am interested to see what other positions, like if we get Wilkins now, defensive interior isn't as big as a problem as it was before. Even though I would still be cool with drafting one, especially if we get Wilkins and we were still somehow able to get Sweat, that'd be perfect, because we still need that big size in the middle where Wilkins is kind of the guy that can add the pressure. So that'd be great. But hey, thanks everybody for popping in. Too Evil, I'll send this one out to you right away. Ooh, let's go. Sunday might be it. Hey, happy early birthday, Gary. Get to send it with with your grandbabies. Let's go. I'm happy for you, Gary. That's awesome. I'm telling you, Atlanta wants Kirk, or they would grab Fields already before someone else does. I'm with you. I'm like I said, I'm 80%. I've been on the train way back in December. I have a video with me talking about like the writing's on the wall that Kirk Cousins is gone, and there's been nothing to make me feel like he's more likely to stay. Besides all the rumors, everything that's happened since then, it seems like he is still more likely to leave than not, in my opinion. Like everything that was said at the combine made me feel like he is going to probably go, or at least they're going to give him the chance to go and figure out, to at least go get some other offers. And if all the rumors are true that Atlanta Falcons want him that bad, I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think Kwesi's going to budge on whatever they want in agreement with, because it's just so obvious with them not agreeing the past season. And then now that Kirk Cousins has an Achilles tear, a season-ending injury with that Achilles tear, I just don't see the scenario where they would just decide to be a little bit more Kirk Cousins friendly than team friendly. So, God, now Kirk Truth speak can happen. Yeah, dude, I think so. I think he's gone. I'll put 80% on it because I could definitely be wrong. Dave was right where you don't know what's really happening behind closed doors. But I think if it would be more obvious than not if that deal was going to get done. I think right now we would have heard more positive things coming from there than the negative stuff that we're hearing, like Atlanta Falcons really want him and him wanting to maybe go there. I think there's truth behind him wanting to play for the Falcons if it's not here. And I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. I think he wants to play for Minnesota, but obviously he is worried about his future and the finances and getting guaranteed money. So ultimately, I think that's going to be the reason why he ends up walking. So yeah, dude, 100%. But again, everybody, we'll be back here Monday. We'll be back here Wednesday as well. We'll talk about all the exciting things going on. Hopefully we can kind of move on from this Kirk Cousins thing. See how the Vikings fan base looks after Kirk Cousins is gone. It's going to be interesting. But hey, again, thanks everyone for watching. Skol Vikes.